Hi, my name is Justin, and this is my very first blog on faith and science fiction and fantasy. There's not a lot of talk about faith and science fiction and fantasy, and I thought it'd be neat to just have a discussion forum where we could do that. What I want to talk about today doesn't really get so much involved in the faith aspect of things, but it is a theory, and I thought it would be fun to launch this whole thing with this theory. It involves Rey from Force Awakens. It involves her parentage, who her parents may or might be. Some people say that it's Luke. Some people say it's Han and Leia. Some people even say that it's Obi-Wan. I think we really have to go back to Shmi to understand how all this got started with Rey. Now, Anakin was conceived through the Force. It only makes sense since we're dealing with the Force and it works in dualities, a light side and a dark side, that Shmi would have had twins. Now the complication there is, would she have not known she had twins? Would she had not mentioned to Qui-Gon that she had twins? She only really talks about Anakin. She was a slave. She might not have been conscious for the birth. She might not have known. She might have known and decided to have kept it a secret from Qui-Gon. Either way, it seems pretty clear that she didn't keep one of the twins, if in fact my theory is correct. If she did indeed have twins, and they were separated at birth, then the other twin would have been extremely Force sensitive, although not a Jedi for lack of training. Why didn't we hear about these twins earlier in the story? Well, Star Wars is a movie that is changing over time. It's being added to all the time. Very likely that after the Emperor and Vader came into power, anyone with extreme Force sensitivity would have been kept in hiding. There was, of course, the Order 66 from Revenge of the Sith. It was dangerous to be a Force user. I talked a moment ago about the Force working in dualities. We all know that twins run in families. The Skywalker family really only goes back 2 generations because you're almost dealing with an entirely new species because Anakin is conceived with one parent being the Force. So it's very possible that the twin history goes back to Shmi. Later on, we see that Padme has twins, Luke and Leia. Now you may ask yourself the question, why didn't Han and Leia have twins? Well, we don't know if they didn't. We're not told. We know that Kylo Ren is upset about something. It's quite possible he could be upset about the loss of his twin, and that's what pushes him over the edge. So if my theory is correct, Rey would be the granddaughter of Anakin's niece or nephew. Now, a more tricky part of this whole thing is in Empire, when Luke goes to fight Vader at Bespin, Obi-Wan says to Yoda, "That boy is our last hope." And Yoda turns to him and says, "No, there is another." Everyone has suspected that that has to do with Leia. Could it be possible that Yoda was talking about another Force user far out in the outer reaches of the galaxy? Pretty obvious that Han and Leia are not her parents. Neither recognize her. She doesn't recognize them. If Luke is her parent, then he would seem to be a single father. But Rey's talk on Jakku seems to indicate that she's waiting for a family, a mother and a father. She's dropped off in an emergency fashion as if being hidden. She's old enough to know that she has a family and can even track the days, as we see her counting off inside the Imperial Walker on the wall. Curiously, inside her Imperial Walker, her home, she has a handmade X-Wing pilot doll, as well as the helmet of an X-Wing pilot. Why would she have these trinkets inside her home? They're from some memory she has. Her family seems to be what's most dear to her. There's a new movie coming out, and this I get into mere speculation. It's very likely that her parents, or at least her mother, could be played by Felicity Jones in Rogue One. I think it highly likely that whoever steals the plans from the Empire must be a Force user. Could Felicity Jones be Anakin's niece? When Luke was left on Tatooine, he had someone to watch over him, Obi-Wan. On Jakku, Rey seems to be alone. Yet, further out is Lor San Tekka. Could he be a member of Rogue One, left to watch over Rey. Both Luke and Rey can sense each other in the Force. As Kylo Ren is trying to read Rey's mind, he mentions an island out at the sea that she can see, that he can see. How would Rey see the island out in the sea? And Luke is on an island out in the sea. I don't think it's because Luke is her father. I think it's because they can sense each other in the Force. Or at least Luke can sense her and is sending her messages. So to sum it up, it only makes sense that if the Force is going to conceive a child in a human, that it would conceive twins. Rey is not the daughter of Han and Leia. She is not the daughter of Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi. She is the grandniece of Anakin Skywalker. I hope you tune in to my next blog. We're going to be going over a lot of fun stuff. Faith, science fiction, and fantasy. Talk to you soon.